Hello. If we look at our today's tasks, it's going to be interior modeling, table, model the table, model the vase, model the picture frame. These are the subtasks that are going to be included in the main interior modeling task. I've just searched Google for modern table and I've came up for a lot of results. By the way, we have previously researched for our references. If we have been, following along, if we look at our composition and look at our references, what we particularly like. So this was the final composition image that we've composed. I'm going to go with this modern table that I found while googling. This is the modern table and this is the simplistic design that I like, and it happened to be the IKEA product uh, with this glossy black finish, and this looks really modern and really, you know amazing, versatile. So I think we are going to model this table, and I am going to save couple of images from here into my references folder, and this is going to be WP. I think I'm going to use the print screen command, and I am going to just do a screen grab, and this is a Snagit editor that I am using. Navigate to my project directory, and I am going to save it in the references file, and I am going to name this table O1 and possibly look for some other pictures, other references. This is a very good reference as well. It shows the edges and the chamfers around corners, how the light is catching this edge. We have to model this as well, and these are the dimensions for the table. I'm going to save this. Just naming these files. Snagit is a very helpful tool for doing screen grabs and capturing some some very quick GIF image sequences as well. It's a great shortcut. Otherwise, if you don't have it, you have to use print screens and open up Photoshop and crop the image there. uh, it just lets you crop a specific part of the image that you want to capture. So the next thing would be to open up Photoshop and do some quick uh, dimension study for this image. We want to be modeling the table as much as we can, whatever we want to model on scale. So like if this product has 45 centimeters of dimension, we want to be modeling according to those dimensions. Before we start modeling our table, uh, it would be great to like somehow know the dimension of the table. uh, like if we if I open up this image, which I found on the IKEA website, you can see that the dimensions of the length and width are 55 centimeter, and the height of the table is 45 centimeter, but we do not know the height of this tabletop. So we can figure out some measurements using Photoshop's tools. If I go and you know click on this ruler tool, I can click from here using shift drag from here to here, and in pixel this length is 376, and we can tell Photoshop that this length should be 45 centimeter by going into image analysis, set measurement, and custom, and the pixel length is 376, and the logical length, which we know is 45 centimeter, and instead of pixel I'm going to say centimeter. Now we have set our custom measurement scale, which says that 376 pixels are equal to 45 centimeter. And if I click on OK, you can see that this is now 45 centimeter, and we can measure the distance from here to here. Now it's saying that it's 5.03, and we can round up the figure, so we can assume that this is 5 centimeter. And we can measure distance, like some flat distances in any image by using this method. It's a great method for if you have some sort of orthographic drawings of whatever you want to measure, what you want to model. Now we know the dimensions of the table. We can go into 3ds Max and start modeling this table. And I am going to open up the references on my screen. I can combine these reference images into one single photo and open that photo up on my other screen, to constantly look at. I just opened up PureRef, and I'm going to drag these images to here, and yeah, this just came in fine, and I am just going to optimize this canvas. I think I'm going to do an export of this image, a quick break, and I'm going to save it to the references folder, and I just name this table combine. Export quality should be maximum. Okay, and now this just popped in as a PNG image, and I'm going to close this, and I'm not going to save changes. Yeah, it's now open on my screen. So finally we are in Max, and we are going to start modeling the table. This is the arrangement that I like to set up, and I'm just going to press J and viewport and click on this floating viewport, and I am going to set up these floating viewports as two window panes, and I'm going to click on this viewport configuration tab, and in layout click on uh, this to be left and this to be right side, and OK, and these ones should be front, and by pressing the V key, and this should be back. Now we are all done, and I am constantly looking now at my references and my 3ds Max viewport. So if we closely look at our table, this is fairly simple table, and if we look at our composition, if I scroll back, composition, we don't see the table legs, and we do not need to model the table precisely, but I am going to model somewhat of the basic of the table. So if we want to move the camera somewhere around, we can move it. You can use plus and minus keys in the ACDC quick view to zoom in and out of the image. I think I'm going to start modeling the legs of the table. We can assume that if this distance was 5 centimeter, and the legs of the table would be 5 centimeters on both sides, I'm going to click on this box and go into create this box and go into my modify panel and click on 5 and 5, and the total length is 45 centimeter. If we deduct 5 centimeter of the tabletop, the legs would be 40 centimeter. So I am going to put 40 40 centimeter over here and center these out by right clicking on these spinners and click on this to center every viewport. I'm going to press Alt W to maximize the viewport. For now, I am going to turn off Scene Explorer and I am going to slightly change the layout from this four screen to this top, front, and perspective and click on OK so that I can see my perspective view big and other views a little bit small. So the next thing would be to and I am going to click on this by using the smoothing groups and the amount is too big. I can just say 0.1 and if you do not want to use this quad chamfer modifier you can switch to the 3ds Max's modifier and use the chamfer modifier which has been improved greatly for these couple of releases of 3ds Max. It's the same thing now and I'm going to click on smooth chamfers only. I think I'm going to increase the segments. Yeah, it's a little bit better and this amount is probably looking a little bit big or not. 1.5 millimeter. Okay, 1 millimeter. Next thing would be to create this tabletop and which I am going to, you know, if I control right click and this quad menu pops up and we can click on this box primitive icon and just input the values which are 55 centimeter on both sides and the height was 5 centimeter. Remember that we figured that height out using Photoshop tools. I am going to center this box to the world scale. The next thing would be to align this box to the tabletop, which I am going to do by using this align command and clicking on this box object, and we are going to position this maybe on the Z axis by using current objects minimum and maximum positions and click on OK. You can see that now this is aligned and the next thing would be to align this leg to this corner. Click on this object and click on the align tool and with the mm, and we don't want to be using the Z position, we want to be using the X and Y position and click on OK. You can see that it has been aligned in all views. Then we can copy by using the instance option and click on this align tool again and clicking on this minimum to minimum and hit apply. The other approach would be to put up a symmetry modifier or a mirror modifier. We can use both approaches. but I am going to click on this box and click on this symmetry modifier. I want to mirror along the negative x-axis, so I'm going to click on this x-axis and untick this z-axis and go into my sub-object and center out the pivot. If I center out the pivot, you can see that it has been copied over to the other side, copied to the minus x-axis. We can flip as well, but in this case flip is not working. So the table is done for according to this image, but the table in our composition, we forgot to apply the chamfer modifier. I'm going to copy this chamfer modifier and paste it to this table top. If we look at our composition, we can see that this in this composition our table is long. We are going to scale this table uh, after we put this table in our composition. Let me just quickly save this, and I am going to name this folder 3D asset assets and remove the underscore possibly.